critics might say, how could you possibly wrestle in church? Isn't that sacrilegious and isn't that violent? The message of the gospel is sacred, but I don't believe the method nor the messenger is. What Jesus said to his disciples was that I'm going to make you fishers of men. When you go fishing, you got to have bait.
It has been good versus evil. It was the common man's opera.
I don't know if this is the church faithful. This is people that maybe haven't gone to church in years or may never have gone to church.
Church, entertainment, it's a good concept.
By the end of this night, you mark my words, you will have heard the message.
If you told me 10 years ago, one day I'd put a ring up in a church sanctuary and use it as a bait for evangelism, I'd have said, you're out of your mind. The effect that wrestling has had on the culture has been extreme, and the effect that the mainstream wrestling is having today, as far as I'm concerned, is extremely negative. When you understand what wrestling always was, anyway, it was a melodrama about the battle between good and evil with very clear-cut lines between the two. And if you followed the soap opera of wrestling long enough, you knew that the good guys always win. My character, the $1 Million Man, was Snidely Whiplash, the WWF, I might as well have had the mustache out here twirling it.
I actually said to our special events pastor, no. It was 2 weeks later, I came to him and said, I've decided, I've counted the cost, it's a yes. The more I thought about reaching people, the reason why we built a bigger church, seats close to 3,000 people, was we want to reach people. And philosophically, the message is what's sacred, the method isn't.
It's very entertaining, and I believe at the end everyone will get the message. Or at least if a few do, then it's been worthwhile.
If they had more fundraisers or whatever like this, then I'd probably come a lot more.
They're going to see a church open to different things, a different outreach than used before. I think it's an excellent opportunity.
They're a visual generation. Well, you know that, you're media television, but everyone is looking for it on a big screen or a computer. So we're just saying we'll be visual with it. We'll show you the love of Jesus Christ.
2, 3. Is the message getting out to the kids? Are they understanding what you're trying to do here?
I'm praying they are. Yeah. It's a lot of good guys. Everybody's cool here, right? Everybody's cool? I think it's working.
You like the good versus evil, or you like rooting for the good guys?
Yep.
What about the bad guys? Don't like them?
It might be violent in a way, but it's a good way to bring people out to the church.
I've received criticism for what we're doing, but when you're doing progressive things and you're reaching out to people and wanting to make an impact, that's part of the package. It certainly wouldn't be promoting violence in the way that we would be doing it tonight. There is a segment of wrestling that's involved. I think most people realize that the kind of wrestling that isn't Olympic wrestling is fake. It's sheer entertainment value. And so we're actually finishing with this crucifixion of Christ and resurrection story that the fight of your life is you can answer tonight. You can win. So wrestling and Christianity really isn't far off.
Traditional church isn't dying, it's dead. Jesus Christ did not, in his 3 years of ministry on earth, go and stand on the temple steps in Jerusalem. He went to the people, and he met the people where they were, on their ground.
Sometimes, it requires these extreme evangelists to tell the story in a way that we can't do it with just words.
We will always stay in boundaries, that we will always use wisdom, and it won't turn into a Barnum and Bailey show. We're not a circus, but we do have a message.
Welcome to the Mystery Park. You will be amazed.
The park is not an Eric von Däniken park. This is not the theme of my books here. Here we talk about the mysteries, the unsolved mysteries. Everything in the park ends with question marks.
The Persuasion Equation, MediaTV.
Meine Damen und Herren, wir treffen in Interlaken Ost ein. Endstation.
Welcome to the Mystery Park. You will be amazed and fascinated at the mysteries you will experience. I am your personal guide and will lead you through the main attractions and sideshows.
My name is Eric von Däniken. I am the world best-selling author with a total edition of 62 million copies. And now we are in the Mystery Park, which is in Interlaken in Switzerland. Very mysterious. 1,000 of years ago, when our forefathers were still primitive Stone Age people, some extraterrestrials landed here. Our forefathers could not understand what was going on, and they believed that these extraterrestrials are gods. Of course, nothing like gods exists.
The basic of Eric von Däniken's theory that it is possible to travel from star to star and to visit Earth in the remote past and so on and so on. This is, let's say, more or less a fact.
First, we have a glass corridor all around the whole buildings. And from this glass corridor, like on the airports, you have some docks to different team pavilions. There are 7 of them. We have touched the Maya culture. Now, the Maya calendar has an end. This end can be calculated. The end is in the year 2012. What will happen in the year 2012? Will extraterrestrials appear, or will nothing happen? Just the whole counting starts again. So we don't have the answers. As you fly with an aircraft over the plain of Nazca, of a sudden figures appear. First you see spiders, monkeys, mans, hummingbirds. Then the aircraft goes higher again. Now you see something like gigantic lines. I said it looks like an airstrip. I never said it is an airstrip. These people in old Egypt who created the Great Pyramid were coming straight away from Stone Age. But they have to have knowledge in mathematics, in geometry, etc. So how does all this fit together? And this is for me astonishing.
That there was a chariot there. I also believe that the mercury that was flowing in us would have been used as fuel for that chariot.
I am known as a controversial figure. The ones love my ideas and the others hate it. That's like going in public as a politician. The one thing, oh, he's wonderful what he says, I agree with him, and the other part is that this is completely ridiculous, I do not agree at all.
We are a little bit proud because he's a Swiss man and he had done so big park, but that's not more, yeah.
There are more fantastic things here on the earth as we know, and we have to be open to it.
I think von Däniken is looking behind of all these mysterious things and look for another explanation than the normal way of science does. And I think he could be right, but you will never find anyone who will agree.
At the end, you leave with the knowledge you have seen something real fantastic which exists on this planet. But our scientific community has no conclusive answers.
I've had some really great opportunities, and most of my ads I would show anybody, so it's not like I've done my work that I'm embarrassed of or consider like where I make my money, but it is where I make most of my money, and it enables me to have a life where I can not worry about how much I'm making doing a film or doing documentaries or doing something else.
It's automatic, I've got a feeling.
I feel funny sometimes being part of that machine, like being part of the selling machine, and I think most ads I do are kind of soft sell, but even, sometimes that's more insidious than hard sell, like doing a Nike ad or being a part of that whole wave of culture, enabling that whole thing. Like sometimes, you know, at night I'm like, what the f am I doing?
Crazy! Cool! Crazy! Go!
I did these Gap ads that were based on the West Side Story, and there's one take, like 30 dancer things with all the lights are on cues and design the sets, and I like that just because it was so fabricated. Like a lot of stuff I get hired to do is kind of like the Volkswagen ad where it's very naturalistic, even if the editing or whatever is more playful, the look, the lighting, the world, and the casting is all very real. Volkswagen's very liberal about their ads. They want to do things that aren't just like a hard sell ad, and they're trying to do things that are innovative. And their taste was really similar to mine. Like they liked the idea that guy was very much based on sort of a graduate Benjamin character. That was just fun. You know, you have a bunch of money, you get to go shoot a thing in San Francisco and use all those buildings the way we got to do and the zoom lenses and all that. And that's just like butter, a job like that.
Blue skies, tell us why you had to hide away for so long. Where did we go wrong? Hey there, Mr. Blue Sky, look around, see what you do. Everybody smiles at you.
In a way, ad agencies should just be doing the ads. I still don't quite get why they hire directors. They come up with the ideas, which is the hard part, and they should, in some ways, they should execute them, and then there'll be like one last person. And so in some ways, for ad agencies, it's a drag doing ads because they get hire these big fancy directors with these huge egos and pay them a lot of money, and then not quite get what they want and go through all these struggles and all these battles. You know what I mean? So all that's a little counterintuitive to my way of doing things. I always think like the less people and the less steps and the more you do your own thing, the better.
Hey.
This looks pretty steep. Ow. What?
There's stunts and stuff in those spots, but they're not done in a hyper way. Like they're shot in a very kind of dystonic, kind of dry, off-kiltered way, and it kind of it's been hunting me forever since I've done those. Like now everybody's like, do that again. So one of the drags about doing ads is you get pigeonholed real super fast. It's very hard to do anything that you haven't done before because so much is on the line. Your task as a director is mostly to tell the story. And that's like the hardest thing to do as a director and the thing you need to learn the most if you want to be a better director. So that way, all these ads have been really excellent storytelling school time for me.
The creative process, there is no formula. I've realized that I think visually. I don't think, I mean, even when I think in terms of remembering something, I always think of pictures. So I think some of us just think visually and some of us think more literally.
Small amount of people, a lot of money.
Things are constantly evolving, and for me to make visual commentary, that's what makes it exciting. There are a lot of different types of illustration. A lot of it is purely decorative, which is fine, but I like work that has some kind of a meaning, that's kind of multi-layered. I think that it has a real immediate impact, and definitely people have loved and sometimes really hated what I've done. Style really is the culmination of everything that you've done in your life, your taste, your experience, what you have to say, your political preferences. So it's, I guess, I just sort of comment on what I see. So style is, it's really hard to say. I guess I do caricature, I do, political commentary. I do a variety of things. I do funny stuff sometimes too. I love working for The New Yorker because it's complete freedom. I come up with the ideas, and if they like them, they print them. Any magazine that has a social commentary or political concerns, I love working for. What I have a problem with are business magazines because I just can't think that way. So anything more organic I love doing. I was really surprised and grateful that they ran this one because it's definitely controversial. The response has been overwhelmingly positive, so I was really happy about that. And I've done tons of work for Rolling Stone over the years. This is J-Lo and Britney and Carlos Santana. When I started doing the celebrity work, I mean, it was fun and it was amusing, but I sort of went off on a real tangent there. But I understand that we're really celebrity obsessed and there's an awful lot of work and to be done if you're a caricaturist. This was for Mother's Day and I just wanted to make this huge, fat, delicious looking baby, but some people thought the baby looked a bit monstrous. But I don't. I still don't. Working for as long as I have, I can sort of, I can pace myself. I know what I can do and what I can't do. Some of the deadlines are crazy. I mean, for Time magazine or some of the weeklies, you really have only a day to do everything from start to finish. So, but then some of the other ones, there are 2 or 3 weeks. So it ends up being kind of a juggling act. If I know something is not going to be, 100%, then I just have to turn it down. And I've had to turn down Time covers and stuff, and that's just really painful. That really hurts. This is Jim and Tammy Faye Baker, and this was, there was a magazine in Washington called Regardes, so I did them as Adam and Eve when they were repentant, and this is Jimmy Swaggart as the snake. This was after their downfall. I'm usually watching TV as I'm doing this, and it's partly for company, but it's also, I watch a lot of CNN and news just so that I'm up to date on things in case someone calls and asks me to, to do something that's political in nature. This is my picture of Bush in Iraq, which this is another one. I'm surprised they ran this, but then again, it's a lefty magazine, so there you go. And there you go, me being a serious artist again, virgins and sluts. I'm a part of the official launch for the Year of the Monkey stamps for the Chinese Lunar New Year. It was a great assignment for me because I'm actually born in the Year of the Monkey, so it seemed really appropriate, right? So, but it really was just to make the most beautiful stamp that I possibly could and really honor the story of the Monkey King. I've had a lot of rejection, especially early on where, people have said, we don't thanks, but no thanks. So I'm actually kind of surprised that I ended up with such a thick skin, but it's just that I want to do it, and I want to keep doing it, and I feel that I have a lot more pictures left in me.